Today, we'll talk about the research skills and online research tools that you will need in your departmental studies. You'll also use them when you're doing your essay assignment in this course. I'm sure you all know Google and how to use it to do research, but there are some certain features of Google that might come in very handy when you're doing research in your studies, for your studies. Okay, so let's say our topic is exam anxiety. And when we do a Google search using these terms, we find a lot of results. We get a lot of results. Well, when you click on all, and when you click on images, of course you find images. I'm sure you know about this. And when you click on videos, guess what? Yes, you'll find video results. But how do we know whether these results, these resources, these websites are good enough to cite? What I mean is, are they good enough to use in our homework, in our assignments, in our papers? So one method to find out about it is the CARP method. So CARP is an acronym for Currency, Authority, Reliability, and Purpose. So let's go over these one by one. Currency. So when was the information published or posted? Has the information been revised or updated when? How does your topic require current information, or will older sources work as well? And websites, are the links still functional? So currency is about how old the information is and whether it is still relevant in today's circumstances and contexts or not. The second one is authority. So who is the creator or the author? And what are their credentials? Who are they? Are they qualified to write about this topic? Can they be contacted? Are they affiliated with any groups or organizations, such as a university or a research institute or a company maybe? A lot depends on what group or organization they are affiliated with. If they are affiliated with a company, for example, well, there might be some question marks whether they can be dependent or not for an assignment, for a scientific assignment. And number 4, who is the publisher or sponsor? Again, if the sponsor is a commercial company, for example, then again, it may not be suitable to use for your research. And the next one is relevance and reliability. So does the information relate to your topic or help answer your question? So be careful, this doesn't mean that the information agrees with your argument. So is it really related? Is it going to help you to answer the question that you're trying to answer? Is the information at the appropriate level for your research? So I'm sure when you go online, you'll find research that is suitable for a range of age groups, educational levels from, let's say, primary school to PhD level. So which of these levels should you aim for? You have to be careful about that. You can't use, for example, information that is meant to be used by primary school students. And number 3 is, who is the intended audience? In other words, who is this material produced for? And next one is, where does the information come from? Does the author provide references or sources? So again, the credibility, the reliability of the resource. And 5, has the information been reviewed or refereed by whom? So what does that mean, reviewed? So especially with scientific journals, when you send in a paper, it is reviewed or refereed by another scientist, mostly 2 other scientists or academics. So we know that they are trusted because they have been blind reviewed or refereed by other academics. But most commercial websites, that is of course not the case. and you cannot trust the information in such websites. And number 6, do you feel comfortable using this source in your research? Would your professor accept it? Okay, and the last one is purpose or point of view. What is the information meant to do to the reader? Does it inform? Does it teach? Does it sell something? Does it entertain? Or does it persuade the reader to do something or to buy something maybe? And number 2, does the author or sponsor clearly state their intentions or purpose? Number 3, is the information fact or opinion, or is it propaganda? So, well, you have to use your skills to distinguish between fact or opinion, of course. And sometimes you have to be careful about this. Well, some people just blend facts and opinions in order to persuade people. That is okay as long as you can distinguish which part of the information is fact and which part is opinion, so that you're not manipulated by people. Okay, number 4, does the point of view seem to be objective and impartial? Number 5, what biases, what prejudices might the author or sponsor have? Do they have political or ideological, cultural, religious, institutional, or personal biases, prejudices? And number 6, are there any ads, and how do they relate to the topic being covered? Whether the information that you find is reliable or not also depends on the type of website that it is found on. So we got different types of websites like .com, .org, .edu, and .go. And for example, in .com websites, well, the intent is commercial, and it can be created by anyone, and mostly to make profits on something. Okay, that's why you cannot really rely on these websites when you are doing a scientific research. And well, if it's a .org, it's most of the time credible. I mean, it's reliable information. And .edu, well, shows that the website is an educational institution, and again, most of the time, it is reliable. And finally, we got .gov, which shows that the website belongs to a government entity, government office. And again, well, depends on which government it is, but mostly it is reliable as long as it is not propaganda. Okay, so here you see an illustration that shows the credibility of sources of hierarchy, which goes from least incredible, which is shown in red, to most credible. So if a resource is unreviewed, for example, like a blog post or a social media post, it is not reviewed by any third party. That's why you cannot trust it. There are also some editorially reviewed materials like popular magazines and sometimes newspapers, which means they are reviewed by editors for more grammar or punctuation than content. And finally, shown in green, we got the peer-reviewed resources, and these are reviewed by experts in the field, for example, academic journals. What about wikis? When I say wiki, I'm sure you think of Wikipedia, but wiki in Hawaiian means fast. And wiki is also a backronym for What I Know Is, W-I-K-I. Well, wikis and Wikipedia, they're great resources for student learning. Well, I use them very frequently myself. And it's really a good way to get some general information about something, about somebody, or a concept. But it is not a credible source to cite from. Why is that? Because anybody can modify the content of a Wikipedia page. That's why it's not credible, it's not a reliable source of information. Okay, now I'll give you some tips on how to do research on Google. So let's say our topic is exam anxiety, and when we search for the words exam and anxiety, we get a lot of results. So, and it's too much to, go through. But when you just enter the words, the keywords, inside quotation marks, then you'll get the results that match with the exact term, exam anxiety. And the results, the number of the results go down significantly, as you can see. Okay, you can also search by file type. So if you're looking for a PDF file with the search terms exam anxiety, you can just, in the Google search bar, type file type PDF. Then you will only get PDF files, as you see here, from Anxiety BC, a PDF file. So when you click on it, it will download this PDF file. And you can also do this with site types. So you can search for this exam anxiety keyword, these keywords, on edu sites or on .com sites or .org sites. Okay, so what you need to do is enter site edu and then in quotation marks or without quotation marks exam anxiety, and you'll see that the results come from edu sites like here or here. So this one is from Dartmouth, it's a university, and Campus Health, UNC, University of California probably, but I'm not sure. But most of the time they are universities. Okay, you can use two of them together, as you see here in this example. So we got site, edu, and file PPT. So this means we are looking for this keyword, exam anxiety, these keywords, exam anxiety, in websites with .edu extension. And we're also looking for a PPT file, which means PowerPoint presentation. So we're looking for a presentation on exam anxiety from a university or educational institution website. So when you enter these queries, you get these results. As you see, this is from academia.edu, and it's a PPT, which is the extension for PowerPoint. Okay, another thing you can do is you can search inside a certain website. Look at this. So theconversation.com, let's say it's a great website where you can find information about anything, and you want to get your information just from this website, nowhere else. So what you do is again go site theconversation.com, and then you enter your queries, exam anxiety, and as you see here and here and here and here, you'll get results only from this website. Okay, in a minute we'll talk about Google Scholar.